I know it seems like a lot of marinade, but I like the flavor to really go through the jerky. So at this point, you can go ahead, because everything's flat layered, you can go ahead and turn it after maybe an hour or two in the fridge. And then come back maybe, I literally like to turn this, if I can, it'll marinate until, let's see, right now it's about 9 o'clock. And I'll be putting it on the dehydrators at about 6 a.m. I'll agitate it a couple times. The more the better. So if you're home, do it literally like 3, 4, 5 times before you throw it on the dehydrators. And tomorrow we'll break out the dehydrators and we'll go ahead and show you how to get it on there and see what the end product tastes like.
So I decided to add an additional 4 cups of purple basil from our garden because the basil flavor to me wasn't as strong as I would have liked it to be. So like I said, you can put as much or as little basil as you like. This particular recipe has 8 cups.
Good morning everyone, Mino Chef Steve here, welcome back. It's the following morning. Meat has marinated overnight, actually for maybe about 20 hours, 18 to 20 hours. You can marinate your meat up to 24 hours if you want to, just depends. I usually do mine anywhere between 12 to 24 hours. So I just wanted to go over real quickly the dehydrator that I've been using for probably the last maybe 15 years, 10, 15 years. It's early here, so. This is actually the Nesco American Harvest food dehydrator, which I've had nothing but success with. I've got 4 of these, and they all have 5 trays each. And you can put up to 10 trays in one if you like, but I found that it takes a little bit longer to dehydrate your jerky if you have 10 trays in one. If you kind of distribute the meat throughout a few dehydrators, you get a little bit more even dehydration, as well as you cut the time drastically. But yeah, these are roughly around $50 to $60, $70 depending on where you buy them. I think I got mine at Bed Bath & Beyond when I bought them and used their, their 20% off coupon. But you can see it's all made with plastic, plastic construction. It's got the temperature gauges there, and for whatever you're going to dehydrate, comes with instructions. We always do ours on 160, which is the highest level there is. The plastic grates, super easy to clean, very easy to clean, and you just get a brush, and the longer you let the mess sit on them, the harder it is to clean. So I usually clean up right after the jerky's done. Hot water and some soap and a scrub brush, and they come clean really easily. So anyways, I just wanted to show you the tray and the dehydrators that we're going to be using. We're going to be putting the meat on here right now. And at first we'll spray the trays. I always spray the trays with some non-cooking spray, just a light coat, just to keep them from sticking, because sometimes the marinades are sticky, sugary, and they tend to stick to this. And then you'll also see how I actually tend to the jerky throughout the dehydration process. Some people just put it on there and leave it overnight and come back to whatever is there. And I like to rotate the jerky and shift it around just to try to get an even dryness and an even dehydration time for everything. And I touch every piece to figure out if it's ready or not. To me it's a very involved process, and I think that's how you get the most consistent beef jerky. So I tend to kind of be a little bit what would you call it, maybe neurotic about tending to them. It's like little children. I can't leave them alone for too long, or else I worry. But I usually have about a 4-hour dehydration time, 3.5 to 4 hours. Sometimes a little longer depending on the thickness of the meat, but usually it's right in that maybe 3 to 5 hour range max. So we'll go ahead and get it on the grate and then get them on the dehydrators and move forward from there. So here's how I spray the grates. Just the trays, a little non-stick cooking spray, just quick little round like that, and you'll make your cleanup a lot easier. I put this little tray comes with the dehydrator. It's to make fruit roll-ups, believe it or not. You make a solution and then you just spread it out on this thing really thin and put it in the dehydrator, and it dries it up, and you take it out and you roll it up. It's just like a fruit roll-up. Anyways, this comes in handy to keep as much of the marinade off of my cutting board. When I'm putting the jerky on the grates, I do recommend putting on some gloves when you do this, just to keep things sanitary. And for all those who eat my jerky, you know that I'm keeping it clean. Anyways, so here's the meat that's been marinating overnight, and you can see it's just, man, it's gorgeous. The lighting's not the greatest in here, but you can see that it's taking the marinade really nicely, and yeah, it's gonna cook up great. So we'll go ahead and get this on the trays, one at a time. Start like that. Let's see if you can see this. And just lay them out. You want to kind of space them, you know, not right on top of each other. The more you crowd the tray, the longer it takes for the jerky to dry. So having more than one tray just makes it so much easier. You get it all on at one time, and it's all finished at one time. And this new meat slicer that I have, cutting these barely consistent pieces, and they're barely consistent in size, makes it pretty easy. You see, that's kind of how I arrange it on there. Next one. I think really good beef jerky honestly takes time and patience, and you have to nurture it, and you know, just do it with some care, and you'll really see the difference in your product. Alright, so this is the base. Has these little areas that catch any juice or drippings. Just gonna pick it up off of there, set it on there. You can see all the juice that was, my cutting board was spared on here, so we'll keep that down there, and I'll take this over to the dehydrator and we'll get it started. All right. All right, so that's how you get 10 pounds of jerky on 4 dehydrators. In a couple hours we'll come back. I think I'll go have a cigar and come back and show you the next step. Okay everybody, we're back. About the midway point. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I rotate it. Then we'll go ahead and wait for the finished product. Alright? So basically just take off the lid, set it aside, and what I'll do is I'll take each piece of jerky. I'll show you what they look like at this point. That's what they're looking like so far. I know it's kind of dark in here. I gotta get better lighting. I keep saying that. But anyways, so we're gonna take it, and I just rotate it, flip it over from the inside to the outside.
So you'll take your piece of jerky like so from the inside and just flip it over, put the outside on the inside, and so on and so forth. So I'll go around and do that to each tray. And then this tray will end up from the top on the bottom. So I'll show you how fast and quick and easy it is. These are in-home machines. You know, the heat distribution it's not as even as I'm sure the commercial machines are, but by doing this, it seems to always come out even. All right, so that's how you rotate it about halfway through the dehydration process. And so we got about another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most. And I'll come back and check it. And when it's done, I'll show you what the finished product looks like. All right, everybody. The brown sugar basil, the Thai chili powder beef jerky is done. About 5 hours of total dehydration time. And as you can see, it's beautifully lean and nice thickness. Still a bit pliable. Yeah, you can see that it's got the white. It's cooked perfectly, and it will still kind of reconstitute once you bag it. Something molecular happens that I still don't understand scientifically, but moisture does come back into the meat, and this is nice and fully dehydrated. And so tender, so delicious. The first thing comes through is the brown sugar, the sweetness, and then here comes the basil, a clean, fresh, almost cooling sensation of basil as you know it, and then following up the rear is that spice, that little hit of spice from the Thai chili powder. Amazing. So give the recipe a try. Really is delicious. This was my first time doing this recipe, and it definitely won't be my last. So thanks for joining me again on another episode of Vinyl Chef Steve, and I want to give a special thanks to my dear friends up in McMinnville, Oregon, for this beautiful wine barrel ice chest that was made many years ago that I'm using as a prop to hold my beef jerky today. Bud and Jeannie Ayala, we love you. Thanks so much. See you on the next time. Take care.